So today I'm bringing you Wendy Turner Larsen of Wendy Turner Larsen Consulting, and we have a great subject. But first off, Wendy is a leadership and brain coach with expertise in emotional intelligence. And today's topic is FOMO, the fear of missing out. And it was funny because, Wendy, in my current research for this, I thought this was new. I thought, the whole social media and where do people doing, and I'm so sad I'm missing out from all that's going on. But this is nothing new. But for anyone who doesn't know, what is FOMO?
So FOMO is, as you said, the fear of missing out. And it really is, it's been identified with social media, but like you said, it's been going on for a long time. Mm-hmm. And it's this anxiety and worry that people feel when they see, specifically on social media, other people living what looks like a great life. People who are more successful than them, better parents than them, etc. And so all of those posts and everything on their feed generates this anxiety that I'm missing out.
Yeah, and I think what we don't realize, and I mean, I only post the best, right? I've got show stuff, and I post when the makeup's kind of done, or we post the best. But when I'm looking at other people, why don't I realize that they're only posting the best, and that I'm not actually missing out on anything?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Why don't I realize that? And it's true. Anything posted on social media, anything we see about other people's lives in general, social media or not, is really just a snippet. And I really don't fault people for what they post on social media, because they're not going to post their worst days. Of course, there's some people who are really open and vulnerable that way. But I don't think it's really a logical, that logic works for fear of missing out. This idea that that's just somebody else's, a snippet of their life, and it looks really good. Why don't I realize that their life is actually as normal as mine? So I don't think it's, I just don't think it's logical.
Yeah. I think the biggest part for me, and as a parent, and I see, I go out for dinner, and I'll see families, and parents or the kids or all of them are all just like this, checking what everyone else is doing. I go out with my girlfriends or other people, and they're all like, I'm sitting right across the table, and they're just like this. It's like, hello, I'm right here.
I mean, that's a really good point. Just that we're so connected to our electronics, iPad, phones, computers, etc. And it might be even more than the fear of missing out, but there can be this addiction to it that actually triggers neurochemicals in the brain that makes us want to have that high, like has someone posted something. And so there can be a bit of an addiction there that that I think is manageable. But what you're saying is, when we have that fear of missing out, and we're really connected to our electronics when we don't necessarily need to, that it impacts other people.
Yeah.
Impacts our partners, impacts the people that we're wanting to spend time with, and impacts our kids. Yeah. And it's interesting that it's I really think it's rooted in so much more, not just I want to see what's going on, but it really triggers when we look at what's going on with other people on social media. It really triggers for a lot of us that we're not enough, or we're not doing enough. Yeah. So I think that's the deeper concern, is that we have self-value. And like you said right at the beginning, that this has been going on for a long time.
Yeah.
When we just had TV, we're comparing ourselves to movie stars or people that have a lot of money. And so to some extent we know that. But on social media, these are people like us, right? Yeah. And and it's triggering that fear of I'm not enough. That's what I think.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm not important enough. And the other thing is just about my friends. Like, my friends aren't calling me. Don't they love me? Don't I have any friends? We go into that as well. The whole, and that's I think the worst feeling, because I think, as I said in the beginning, FOMO is just so much. It goes way back, like but it seems to be forefront right now. But it's like you said, it's just so much deeper. Can you give us more just about self-worth? Am I significant? That's the root.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you're right. It triggers our questioning whether we're significant or not, whether we matter or not. So I think for some people it can be this fear of I'm not successful enough. You've just talked about, am I worthy enough for other people to invite me into their world and their lives? So for some, that's that's what gets triggered, being left out, being seen as not as important as others. And again, it's just a snippet. I can't imagine what it's like for kids in school, in junior high and high school, if I, as an adult, get bothered by some of this and have to just disconnect.
It is hard. I mean, I try to post content and I'll get 50 likes. Someone in a school will post a picture of themselves doing and saying, I'm so bored, 250 likes. So then my daughter goes on and sees this and thinks she should post something like that. And it's like, and I am controlling, I have all the passwords, so I know what's going on and they know they can't do that. Yeah. But that's hard for her to go, well, I could post a better picture and get just as many, like, really? Is this what this is about?
Yeah, and so, young people, or not necessarily young people, or even older people, maybe we're just a little more refined in what we post, where we're trying to use the responses to build our self-esteem or value, and that's challenging.
Yeah. So, because we just, we've talked about it, what are some tips just to help us get over this fear of missing out, or, because it is deep, so.
Well, the first tip is manage your time on social media. If there's particular people or particular sites that tend to trigger you more, like, disconnect from that. We can't always control what pops up on our feeds. So, managing your time there. And I think, what you said, just realizing that what you see on people's lives is not on social media is not necessarily the truth. That's a snippet of probably one of their best days or, best years. I find that if there's ones that are triggering me more, I just disconnect from that for a while. If I'm feeling, a little less confident in my work or something like that, I will just stay off, because there's going to be people who are doing really well. So managing your time that way. And then I think deeper, and this is really an ongoing process, is managing that feeling of, or that belief that you're not enough. And, really, there's not just one thing to do with that, but connect with, people that really support you, people that really believe in you. Most of us have that default to look at the negative in ourselves. And so, using some techniques like mindfulness even to manage those beliefs. And this whole idea of positive psychology, like I'm on some great groups on Facebook, and one is just like the happiness group, and you're only allowed to post happy things, and some days it drives me crazy, but for the most part I know that that's uplifting. And when you're having a down day or down moments, that you connect with real people still through technology if you need to. So a lot of these things people already know. It's just a reminder that it's normal to feel anxious. It's normal to doubt ourselves, but managing that. Yeah. And there's I forget who made this quote, but it's a lot about comparison, and that comparison destroys our contentment. So if you want to feel content, managing how much time you're on social media might be important.
Like I always think there's a little bit of, I want to be a better person, I want to be better, but it's when it's not real, and what you're seeing isn't real. And I love just the whole mindfulness. We need to live in the moment right now versus always checking, where can I go next, or what can I do next, or who else is doing what, and live right now with the people that are in your circle right now. I think that's so important. Yeah,
being present. Mindfulness really calms the brain. It can be incredibly powerful when you are feeling anxious. And so, that's why I'm a proponent of that.
Yeah, and I definitely think as women, and I know this is a struggle because I interview with a lot of other women, but we want to do it all. And I think I have it all. My definition of all is different than, like, I have it all. And my all is much smaller than it's the essentials, but don't look at other people's all and compare yourself. And I think that's what we're.
Right. It really is about being grateful for what we do have. So there's lots of science now about gratitude, and the whole idea of what you focus on grows. So if you focus on what you're missing out on, what the lack is, that's going to create more anxiety.
Yes. Oh, well, thank you, Wendy, for sharing the time with us, and I really appreciate talking about FOMO. So that is the fear of missing out, and we were talking with Wendy Turner Larsen, and she is with Wendy Turner Larsen Consulting. And you know what? If you feel that the anxiety is too much, make the call. Look up Wendy's website. She offers a lot on personal excellence for women and lots of other subjects. So if you feel this is overtaking your life, or it's just too deep and the anxiety is too much, make the call. I really enjoyed the conversation. I know what I experience, and I have to step back as well. So you're not alone.